Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Melissa of Citrine Natural Beauty Bar, and we are both pregnant.
Yes.
So we thought we would jump on and talk all things skincare. So my followers are always asking me what I can avoid during pregnancy.
Yeah.
I don't know everything as far as ingredients, so that's why I want to ask you.
Yes. Well, thank you. So I think like we get those questions a lot too, you know, because I think especially like people are becoming more aware of like what they're putting in and on their bodies, and that becomes super heightened when you are pregnant. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, am I eating the right foods? Am I like putting something on my skin that can be harmful? And so I think the few things that I can tell people is like, especially I know everybody usually during pregnancy deals with some kind of acne or breaking out. And I didn't break out on my face. I broke out on my back.
I probably would have loved the back versus the face. But
yeah, it wasn't. It was still like not the best, but I would take that over the face too. Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, I think like you really want to avoid the acne products during pregnancy.
Sure.
So like vitamin A is like extremely toxic to like a fetus. Like any type of like the retinols, salicylic acids. So basically everything that you're going to find in acne products, which is like, man, I'm pregnant, I'm dealing with breakouts, like what do I do?
Right.
So, I mean, we'll talk about some of the things that you can do naturally. And then you also want to avoid things that have like sulfates in there. So a lot of times, you know, you're breaking out, you want to like just reach for like a cleanser where you just feel like squeaky clean and you're like, yes, you know, like, but it's going to strip your skin and it's going to make you produce excess sebum, which when you're pregnant is what you're doing, and that's why you tend to break out a little bit more. So the vitamin A, sulfates, any type of retinol, salicylic acid, any type of lightening creams. So a lot of women too, they'll start to develop like a pregnancy mask.
Yeah.
And they want to use, I don't think either one of us have experienced that.
No, but I have friends that have.
Yeah. And so they want to use products that will lighten, but those are extremely toxic.
Okay.
So we'll talk about some other ways that we can do that as well too.
Okay, perfect. So you're talking about squeaky clean. Let's talk cleansers.
Yes.
So I always use honey mud and the black clay. Those are the two because I feel like I should just kind of keep it minimal.
Yeah, totally.
What do you recommend?
Yeah, I think during pregnancy you don't want to experiment with too many products too, because even when you're not pregnant and your skin is normal, if you start using too many things, it's hard to tell. Like if you become reactive to something, it's hard to pinpoint it. So I think keeping it simple is definitely great. So the honey mud is like my personal favorite.
It's the best.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's something everybody can benefit from, and especially when you're pregnant, you just have so many things going on with your skin. So that has raw honey in it, which is super great. It's antimicrobial, it's antibacterial, so if you're breaking out, it's going to be great for your skin, but it's also humectant. So if you are really dry during pregnancy, it'll kind of give you some hydration. But even for oily skins, it actually has clays in there, so that'll kind of withdraw out impurities. So it's just like that perfect balance of things.
Yeah.
And you can use it in the morning.
I use it all the time. Morning, I wear it as a mask, and I just wear it around the house for hours.
And the cool thing is, and you know this, you can just wear it for however long you want. It is one of those things like it won't hurt, like if you keep it on for a long time. So that's really cool. So I tend to recommend the black clay for people that have a little bit more of oily or problematic skin. If you're dry, you may want to test this out just like a couple days a week because it could dry you out a little bit more. But that is really great. And you know what? It's a super affordable product.
Yeah.
It's a soap, but there's no sulfates in here. So it's like a natural soap, and it'll last forever. So
I just love how it lathers.
Yeah, it lathers great.
Yeah.
And we were talking a little bit about my back knee at first. You can use like this on different areas of the body too. So you can use this on the chest, the back, anything. And it's a pretty affordable product, which is also really nice.
Personally, I have pregnancy acne. Hormonal acne is what I call it.
Yes.
And I often get questions because I share it on social media. And
Totally.
People are relating and they want to know how I deal with it. So
Yeah.
what products do you recommend for people dealing with acne?
Yeah, so I really recommend like not drying out the skin. Just like, I know it's like the inclination to like grab some benzoyl peroxide or whatever, but you shouldn't be using during pregnancy. So I think instead we oftentimes associate like oils with breaking out, but in the natural world, and if you're using good oils, so they'll actually help to balance out the skin a little bit. And so I really suggest doing like a facial oil. It's going to be super calming to your skin because especially we both know during pregnancy your skin is like very reactive.
Totally.
So these are going to be really great at kind of calming things down too. I know we both use the Maelstrom Youth Dew,
Yes,
which
love
is
it.
an oil. And this is a little bit of a higher price point oil, but it's definitely worth it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
got like 20 different plant oils in there. So it's going to be like all natural, raw, organic. It has CoQ10 too, which is also really great at feeding our skin, helping with like scarring. And the cool thing too is, you know, if you are going out and you want to put makeup on, this is a really great like makeup primer too,
Yeah, I love it.
underneath makeup. This oil here is by Indie Lee, and this one is their Squalane oil. And this is a little bit more of an affordable price point. And it just contains squalane, which is from olives. So it's basically like a really pure olive oil for the skin. But it's also good if you're really like reactive, you have acne. So if you're looking for a more affordable option, if the Youth Dew is just like not in the ballpark for you, this would be a really great one to do. I think this one is like $32. Don't quote me, I have pregnancy brain right now.
I actually personally haven't used the Indie Lee line, but I have a lot of friends that have, and
Yeah.
they love it.
Yeah, it's something like if you're looking for something simple and you're like on like a budget.
Totally.
Like I definitely really like. And then I know another product that we both love is
Blue Cocoon.
you're gonna like hear like a theme throughout this whole thing of
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom. And she just makes amazing products for the skin. I don't
Yeah.
know what to say. They're really concentrated too. So I think people like need to understand that like if you buy a honey mud, you're gonna like have it for like 6 months. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
so the Blue Cocoon literally I feel like could last you an entire year.
Oh, totally.
And so this is a balm. And it's blue. It's icy blue because it has an ingredient called blue tansy in there, which is really great. Like if you have any type of reactive redness in your skin, this is, it's just amazing.
I also sometimes mix it with my foundation to
Yes.
make a very like glowy, just like natural look to
Yeah.
my skin. It's my favorite.
Yeah, and this is like honestly like anything, like any kind of skin condition you have. So redness, psoriasis, acne, breaking out, rosacea, like anything that could come up, like the Blue Cocoon is going to really help to heal the skin.
So one of my favorite subjects is masks because you guys see me wearing them every other day probably, and I often get questions of, are you over masking? Like, do you have skin issues because you're doing it too much? So what's your take on that?
Well, it depends on the mask, like for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because you could be doing it too much, but I know what you use
Yeah.
because we talk about it. And so with these products, I don't think that there's any risk of like reactiveness to the skin at all. So I'd suggest like masking like once or twice a week. You can do more and be a little bit more aggressive if you have things going on in the skin. You just want to be careful on what you're using, and like if you guys ever have any questions on like how often you should mask or whatever, you can always DM us and ask us too. But once to twice a week is ideal. You can do more, like I said.
The honey mud is one thing. You can
Honey
do.
mud you can do every
Any
day.
day, yeah.
You could do that all day, every
Right.
day. It's totally fine on your skin.
Okay.
Hence the name, the problem solver. It's solving all your problems.
That's how I explain it,
Basically,
too.
yeah.
And people are like, why do you like it? I'm like, it just solves all your problems.
Yeah, totally. It solves all your skin problems. I wish it could solve life problems, but anyway. So this is a great mask to use once or twice a week, especially if you're breakout prone. And what is cool about this is it comes in a powder form. So you literally whip it up fresh every single time.
Right.
And it has a higher price point to it, but honestly, like, it's $100 and you get like so many masks out of it.
Totally.
And if you go get a facial, like, you know, you could buy this and you could be doing like a facial at home, basically, like once or twice a week. This has charcoal in there. It has different clays and warming spices to really get the circulation going on the skin, really getting the detox process down. But I'm sure you can attest to it. Like, when you take it off, you don't feel dry. Your skin actually feels like baby soft.
Totally.
Not to be confused with that other really scary black mask people are using that they peel off their face, because this is not that. This is like pure raw ingredients for your skin, and it also has water activated vitamin C in there too. So when we were talking about like scarring, pigmentation to the skin as well during pregnancy, it'll help with that too.
And you should probably have it on for what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, you'll know when it's dry, because when you whip it up fresh and you put it on, it's almost jet black in color, and then so you'll know when it's dry, because it's going to turn that like army green color, and you're kind of done.
Okay, so right when it turns army green, wash it off.
Yeah, you don't want to leave it on, because it's going to get really hard and it'll be uncomfortable to talk a little bit.
I've actually been there where I'm just sitting there like, I'll talk to you in a second.
Your face is crumbling off or whatever.
And the best way too is a hot towel.
A hot towel, or even the shower.
Okay.
Like, the shower just like kind of breaks it all apart. The nice like steam of a hot shower or a hot towel, and then just kind of rinsing it all off, because it's not exactly, you know, the neatest product. It is a little bit messy when you're washing it off. So whatever your preference is, but basically hot, steamy things, it'll kind of get the clays to release, and your skin will just feel like $1,000,000 after.
It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yes. And then I think another mask that is really good for people is the clarifying mask from Tata Harper. So this is a mask that you use as well too. Have you used this like on when you do stories and stuff?
Yes,
Okay.
like a couple times.
Okay, so it's if you guys
The
are
green one.
Yeah,
you guys
the green
see me.
one.
I have like a green face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is green in this is chlorella, and what that is doing is it also helps to kind of take away any redness in the skin or irritation. But this mask has a lot of great things to kind of break up any type of blemishes. So for blemish prone skin, it's really nice. And a lot of people go, well, what should I do? Should I get like clarifying or problem solver? If you can, do both. If not, it kind of is more based on your skin type. If you're extremely reactive or you have like rosacea, I'd probably go to the clarifying. If you have more, you know, just like all skin types can really use the problem solver. But if you do tend to have rosacea or anything like that, and if you don't know what rosacea is, it's kind of like where you get like really red and through the cheeks. You would know it if you had it. Then I'd recommend the problem solver.
Cool.
Yeah. And then this guy right here is the clean dirt. And I love to actually, this is getting really intense now, but I like to mix this with the honey mud.
Yeah, me too.
So
and jasmine.
And
garden.
jasmine garden, like you this is another one. It's a powder that you water activate. And this is an exfoliant. So it's also really important during pregnancy to make sure that you're exfoliating the skin, not too much, but like a few times a week. So you want to make sure you're getting off that dead skin, both on face and body. And this, it has different salts in there too. And the salts are kind of what pull out all of those impurities. So this is actually the product that cleared my acne. I like started using this every single day. And this also has the water activated vitamin C in there. So I don't have any scarring because of that. So it definitely helps with scarring as well too. And this is just a great product to use a couple times a week, or even mix in and make it as a mask.
So we talked about exfoliating and masks. A lot of people want to know, can you do it the same day? Should you exfoliate? I know you talked about a couple times a week to do both. So when do you decide, okay, masking versus exfoliating?
That's a really great question. So you don't want to do them on the same day. You know, with the skin, less is more. We want to be proactive, but you also don't want to do too much where it could cause the skin to be reactive. So definitely, like, if you exfoliate one day, then mask like the next day is fine. But don't do it on the same day. Like, always just kind of think a little bit like less is more.
Okay.
Yeah, but great question.
So, as a new mama, I had dark circles, puffy eyes, so many issues. And I mean, how much you're just so sleep deprived. You probably feel that now too, being
I feel
pregnant.
it totally.
At the very end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to sleep. Even pregnant is an issue. But how do we cover them? What do we do? What's some ways that we can get that puffiness down?
Yeah, so definitely like making sure that you're using like a really good eye cream. You know, and some of it is just hereditary, and it's just like you could do as much as you want, and maybe you're still going to have some of that darkness, but definitely using a good eye cream will help.
Sure.
So I know that we both use and love. We both use and love a lot of the same products.
She taught me well.
This boosted contouring eye mask from Tata Harper.
It's great. It's amazing.
This is like, it's really thick, so it's super concentrated, and you use this around the eye area. And I especially love to use this at night because it kind of absorbs in, but you can even use it during the day. But I have a new favorite for during the day. It's a new product that we just got in, and I have not been sleeping well. Like maybe I'm getting like 4 or 5 hours a night right now, if I'm lucky. And this is, it's an energizing eye gel, and it's pretty affordable too. So if you're also like a little bit more budget conscious. And what's really cool about this is it has like a little silver tip. So it's one of those ones that is cooling around the eye area.
I haven't used this yet.
Yeah, so you need to try this one. I think you'd really like it.
I think I'm going to be adding some Patyka in my life.
I love Patyka. I really do like this line a lot. But this is just really good. It's an anti-fatigue. So it's got caffeine in it, which don't be afraid of during pregnancy. It's just applying it topically to kind of like wake the eye up, if you can think of it in that way.
Okay.
And that'll also help with the circulation, because a lot of times when we get the dark circles underneath, it's the accumulation of the blood. So just getting the oxygen flow to that is really good. And then like using like something like the eye mask at night. And then
you just wake up.
Yes.
You can just feel it, just the moisture and like the hydration. It's just amazing.
Yeah, totally. And then we know you love Circle Delete.
It's like my new favorite. I think because like I've had this for a long time, but I didn't know how to use it correctly, I think. So then when I started looking into it a little bit more, and I'm like, this is like an amazing product. And then I showed it on an IG story. People were like, what is this all about? I just did, of course, a YouTube all about it, and I'm obsessed.
And you sold us out of Circle Delete. So sorry if you've been trying to order that. It will be back.
And
promise.
I get so many questions of yellow versus peach. Of course, you can send them a message.
Yeah, totally. If you send us a message, we can let you know which is best.
Yeah.
So the Circle Delete, what it is it's a concealer, but it's also a corrector. So I know, especially when you did do your YouTube videos, we got a lot of questions in on DMs like, what color do I use? And there's only 2 colors. Well, and that's because it's more of a corrector. So it's designed to be used before you use your foundation. And you have your corrector side, so your side that's really going to help take out like any type of redness, or if you're using it under the eyes, take away any kind of that darkness, and then your lighter ones to kind of brighten. And then you kind of go and you put your foundation on top. So if you have more, I would say, like our skin tone, like, well, you're more olive, but even for me, I'm more fair, but I definitely, because I'm a ginger, I tend to be like kind of blue underneath the eyes, and I kind of get that red pigmentation. The Circle Delete 2 is great. If you are more of a deep olive skin tone, the Circle Delete 1 is great. Or even if you're fair and you just have very warm skin tone. But you can always, like I said, DM us, and we can guide you in the right direction for that. And it's just a really creamy concealer, so it'll last you a long time. You can kind of just play around with it and then put your foundation on top, and it looks great.
Amazing. Do you put a different concealer on top of that?
You don't have to. Okay. Like, that's definitely enough. That has like full coverage. So yeah, if you are a mom and you just need something really quick that you know that you can put on that's going to give you a little bit of coverage, that would be a great product to reach for.
And for me, I've dealt with acne scarring, and I scar very easily, so that's helped really cover everything up.
Totally.
I mean, it's it's a life changer for me. So I love it, and it's a great price point.
It is too, and what the cool thing is, a lot of concealers are drying, so when you put them on, then you can kind of you can always see where that concealer is.
Yeah.
This one's really creamy, and it's really hydrating. So
it blends well with the foundations.
It blends well with the foundations, and it also will just blend well with your skin. You just want to make sure that anytime you're applying makeup, period, you want to make sure that your skin is really well hydrated. So yeah, that's a great one.
So another question that I get from you guys is all about stretch marks. So I didn't personally get it with Vivian. Who knows with baby number 2, but what do you suggest for people that may be dealing with stretch marks or want to prevent them?
Yeah, it's definitely a question that we get a lot too. And you know, I think a lot of it is hereditary, but there's so much that you can do to prevent them. And I think starting early in your pregnancy is key. So you really want to make sure, we talked about exfoliating before, but you want to make sure too with the body and with the belly that you're always kind of getting, I love that I always go to this.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you're getting off like all that dead skin, and then using like a really high quality oil to help to increase the elasticity in the skin. So always making sure you're kind of lubed up in a way. Like honestly, you want to always make sure your belly's lubed up. And if you ever feel any type of itching, don't itch. That's like not good. Instead, rub some cream in, because it's kind of like preparing your skin. It's going to stretch.
Right. That's what's happening.
I know right now. I'm 35 weeks pregnant right now. It is stretched. You're just like, I don't know.
I'm 16 weeks and it's already starting to stretch.
Yeah, like you feel it. And so just like preparing your body for it, preparing your skin for it.
Sure.
So 2 favorites that I have that I've been using.
And this is a new line.
This is a new line,
okay.
yeah. So, oftentimes people were like asking me why I didn't have like a mom and baby line, and I just didn't find one that like I fell in love with. But then I found Herba Viva, and being that I was a new mom, I was like, perfect, I'm gonna bring it in, and I really like it, and the price point is great, and it's also organic. So they have a stretch mark oil, and this like is so hydrating, like a little bit goes a long way. And they also have a stretch mark cream, which has cocoa butter in there. It has sea buckthorn, carrot seed oil, so lots of great antioxidants for the skin, and just really hydrating. So you know, even if these aren't the products that you're using, just try to make sure that you remember to just always hydrate day and night. The belly, feel that scratching.
More than lotion.
More than lotion.
Okay.
More than lotion. You need more than lotion, because you need to prep the skin to be able to stretch.
Okay.
So, you know.
I need to add this as well to my.
Yeah.
I just don't think about it because I didn't deal with it. So, but you never know what could happen for this. Every pregnancy is so different.
Yeah, and it's always good to be preventative too. So I started using these, I think probably like at 12 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
I'm 35 weeks pregnant now. I don't have any stretch marks. They could still possibly happen. You just never know. But I also run into like a lot of other clients that are pregnant, and they're like, I got that because you're using it, and they also have told me that they don't have stretch marks. So I think, you know, it's really about being preventative.
Sure. Thank you so much for sitting down, chatting with me. Yes. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more information on the products, because you guys know how much I talk about them, love them, but I can't talk that much about them because I don't know much about ingredients and
I feel like you're more of an expert than you give yourself credit for.
Oh, wow.
But definitely, I think it's always great to just, especially when you're a new mom, or you know, you're pregnant, or even like thinking about becoming pregnant, it's always great to get a lot of information. And so I hope it was informational and you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you next time.
Bye.